Hey everybody, Captain Murphy here. Today we're going to take a look at how Sea Titans is coming along. Last time we covered some of the world generation and showed how it would load tiles in advance and then move the world out from under the player and some of those things. Well, that's gotten a little bit more refined. The other thing I want to do is run through just the basics here. So we're on the main menu right now. What I want to do is show you that you can now, in the latest alpha that's out there, you can actually pick how big you want to generate a world, so that way the end user can really just try it out, see what you want to do. Now we have the world currently capped at 100 wide by up to 20 tall, and that's technically 101 wide and 21 tall, but yeah, we'll get around that. So you can make your world as big as you want. Now this doesn't load the whole world at one shot. This actually creates the world, puts it into a serializable class, and that way we can save it back out again, reload in, whatever we want to after that point. But it just creates the world, and then there's a world loader which will then load the world in. So we're going to go ahead and set, we'll just do a 10 by 5, and we'll go ahead and set it to a density of 50%. Now this random seed here, this just sets the randomization of items in the scene. So if you picked this same 10 by 5 by 50% and then used the same seed number that I'm using right here, you should see the exact same world that I'm seeing. Now, there's going to be some minor differences on some of the items because of the way that the random number generator works, but for the most part you're going to see an identical world setup. So let's go ahead and do a start game. This is going to bring us into the world, and you're going to watch on the right-hand side, it's actually loading in the worlds in a synchronous pattern. So it's going to load one tile, make sure everything is loaded, move to the next tile, make sure everything's loaded, and move to the next tile. And that ensures that we kind of frame smear the process over multiple frames, and that allows us to not have as much of a lag or a slowdown as normal. Now you're going to see kind of that little weird thing on the right. That's because we have caustics turned on the water, so there's caustics underwater, and that for some reason that applies to the editor camera as well. Alright, so last time I showed you that when you moved in a certain direction that it would load the tiles and move the world and everything, but last time it did everything all at the same time. This time it actually does again, like I said, it kind of frame smears it all out. So we move in one direction. Actually, what I should do is move the other direction. We're a little closer to that edge. And so if I move this direction, what we're going to see is as we move through the world, it's going to say, oh, look, you're moving in a direction that we don't have tiles loaded. We're going to go ahead and load those tiles in advance, but we're going to spread them out. So that way we're not loading a ton of tiles all at one shot. Instead, we're going to grab a few tiles, load one every second or so, and make sure that they're loaded ahead of us, but not all at one time. And then as we get closer, it's going to also add more details and things like that. Like you can see, we're now seeing all the grass and the terrain details and rocks and all that. So let's go ahead, and as we move a little bit further, we should start seeing a tile load in. And just like last time, you'll see the world shift under the player. There we go. So there's our tiles loading in. They're loading really, really slow at this point. I wanted to kind of see how slow we could go. We're about to see the world shift. And watch the left screen. If we're going to trigger it here. Because there's a threshold you have to cross. So we have to get to that threshold. And you're going to see a little loading icon pop up. If it ever is going to do it. Okay, there we go. Now on the left side, it was pretty much seamless. You really didn't see anything happen, and that's kind of what I'm going for. We want to minimize the amount of player noticing that the world shifted up under them. And the difference now is that we are loading a larger set of tiles, and we have a lot more items. Like we've got all this terrain on top. We've got other ground details. We've got the weather, the terrains, syncing up with the waters. So there's a lot more that's being moved around, but it seems to be pretty much seamless. So let's go ahead and re-trigger that going this direction. If you looked on the right hand side, you just noticed that it also unloaded a few of the tiles. Okay, now there's about a frame skip when that occurs, and I'm still working on getting that kind of ironed out, but at this point it's pretty minor. That's a really unnoticeable frame skip right there. Considering that we've got so much more detail in the system now that I think we're going to have to live with that for a while until we can get past some of the prototype stage. So anyway, just wanted to give a little update on the world generation. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks.